Hello there and welcome to the Card Grotto. Today I thought I'd do a quick tutorial on how to use the envelope punch board from We Are Memory Keepers. This has been out quite a long time now, but a little while ago, actually quite a long time ago, I do apologise, Sarah from Zazzle Crafts mentioned that she struggles to use this a little bit. Probably by now, as it's taken me so long to do it, she's probably figured out how to use it, but just in case there's anyone else around as well that struggles to use it, I thought I would just do a really quick tutorial on how to use it. So this works in both inches and centimetres, or imperial and metric. In the real world I use metric all the time, but in card making I use inches or imperial, just because most of the cardstock that I buy is American size, so it kind of works out better that way. To kind of use the most of the cardstock. So the envelope for the card we're going to be making is for this card here. Now this is a really odd shaped card, and even making my own envelope I'm not going to get it exactly right, just because it is such an odd shape, and that's when I do tend to make envelopes, especially for smaller cards I tend to make envelopes for. And also it's really good to kind of colour coordinate as well if you want to do that. So this card here measures 3 7/8 by 5 inches. Now there isn't a measurement here that coordinates with that. Like I said, it's a very odd size. So the closest one here is 4 by 5 inches. It means the envelope is going to be slightly big for the card, but that's absolutely fine. Otherwise I wouldn't have an envelope at all. So the next thing to kind of look at is the paper size. So you want to cut the paper to whatever size it says. So this is 7.5. So I've taken some basil card stock. This is that kind of older basil card, you know, that I've had for years and years and years. It's fairly thin really to use as card bases, so I quite like it for envelopes. Also I have the paper tray ink paper pad, and I use this quite often for envelopes because it's really thick paper, and that works out quite well as well. But I'm trying to get through some of this basil cardstock, so I'm going to use that today. So for the only measurement that you actually need is this one here, and for this particular size I want 3 3/8. So what I'm going to do is measure across the top to 3 3/8 and line it up with that mark there, and then I'm going to punch here, and then I'm going to take this tool out of the side, and this is the tool that I'm going to use to score with. I do actually, otherwise I really like my Teflon bone folder, but for this particular one I really like this tool actually. And then what I'm going to do is score along from the top to the bottom. I tend to sometimes, if it's thick cardstock, I score from the bottom so that I know that I'm along the right line. And then what you want to do is take it out, and then you want to line up. Sorry, there's a little bit of cardstock stuck in the bottom of my my punch here. Sorry about that. And you want to line up this score line with this little thing that's hanging out of this punch bit at the side, and then you want to just punch again, and then again you want to score across this line here, and then again you do exactly the same thing with the other side. Line it up and then punch, and again score along the side, and then for the last one exactly the same, and then you just score down here as well. And then what's quite nice is that if you turn this punch the other side and you push the cardstock in from the other side, it just rounds the corners, which is a nice sort of finishing touch for the envelope. And then you've got your envelope basically. So these score or fold I should say really well, and you can just do the 4 sides. And then I tend to keep this larger flap outside, and then what I would use is some of this Crafters, well this is by Crafters Companion, but you can get it everywhere, basically this really strong red line tape, and I'll stick these 2 things like sides together, and then the card will fit in quite nicely into the envelope. And then if I was to give this to someone, I would just use some repositionable adhesive at the top. However, if it's going through the post, then I probably would use something like my ATG or something like that to make sure it is kept closed, but that it's not too difficult for the person to kind of take, open when they get there. And then I would just put a label on the front and then write the address on it, just because this cardstock is quite dark. If it was a light colour cardstock, I probably would just write on the top. So that's how to use the envelope punch board from We Are Memory Keepers. I think that, it's quite a really really good tool if you need to make envelopes, and I hope that's helped some of you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.